bam, bam. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. This one's White Minority. Click the link down in the description to access all of the full album listens and commentaries. Don't waste your time, people. Come on now. White Minority. Oh, what a riff! An American! I've heard this one before. Quite funny because you had White Minority and then Minor Threat did Guilty of Being White. And of course part of the hardcore subculture was to shave your head. So you had a bunch of skinheads knocking around. I think there was more of a right-wing element when it came to like the earlier days of hardcore punk or in some particular scenes. Obviously not within Black Flag and Minor Threat and all of that and them communities, but I just think it quite funny how these lot kind of looked a bit racist and wrote songs that could be perceived as racist, but it just wasn't. Yo, these lot always used to go into fights and stuff, innit? Like a lot of beef and stuff, or at least that's what the biographies state, you know. I read so much. I don't really care for like reading about music scenes and stuff like that. It's not my sort of reading, but I did have the book American Hardcore, and you know, just along the way you pick up little tidbits of where people referenced how violent it was at events and stuff. I don't know if that's completely fabricated just by a bunch of old dudes looking back and sort of blowing it out of proportion with rose tinted glasses. Do you know what I mean? Because there's always an element of violence within these circuits, and I'm speaking from my limited experience, but it's like, you know, I could just pick and choose and highlight that, like all the pit beef and shit like that, and then look back at it in 20 years time and say, yeah, it was so violent, man, when the reality of it is, for the majority of the time, it was not, you know. You ever get that? All of the old heads. Yeah, I'm probably speaking to a few old heads right now. I'm speaking to you. Yeah, and I'm not as young as I used to be, right? So I you know what I mean, some people look at me like an old head, but some of you old heads, yeah. Oh, back the mods and rockers era, it was violent. Oh, I knew a few Teddy boys back in the day. Oh, in the 80s, man, with the National Front, and we used to scrap and all of that. You know what I mean? There's always like, oh yeah, back in my day it used to be ruthless. You didn't want to be knocking around back then. I think everybody from every generation has got that sort of pumped up attitude when it comes to it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we're in what, the 2020s now. And you go to some of these shows, you go down to like beatdown hardcore shows and stuff where everyone's got an ego that needs expressing to the world. And you'll see the exact sort of immaturity you probably saw in these events back in the day. I wasn't there, but I'm digressing. This is a philosophical talk whilst watching Black Flag right now. Whilst listening to Black Flag, alright? Yeah, punk's not dead, I'm keeping it alive, people. There we go. That was my minority. To put a long story short, I like the riff, the song. There, can throw that away. We got No Values coming up next, people. All right. What?